February 1st, head coach Turner Gill announced the hiring of Scott Downing as the new running backs coach and special teams coordinator here at Liberty. And Coach, month into the campaign so far for you, have you enjoyed yourself?
Oh, it's been a great transition. This is really a special place, and I've enjoyed every minute of it so far.
Scott, you came in here at a unique time, right around signing day. So give me an idea, once you accepted the job and that first week here, how of a rush that was for you.
Well, it's one of the first times in my life that I've had to get up and speak about a recruit that I had nothing involved with his recruitment, but the coaches were great. It was exciting because you're like a kid in a candy store. It's like Christmas morning. You get a chance to see these recruits on video while we're talking about them on the signing show, and it was exciting to see the result of all the hard work that the rest of the coaching staff had done over the year of recruiting these young men.
I want to kind of talk about your career a little bit. Kansas City, Missouri native, and went to Sterling College. And right after you played at Sterling, you started coaching. So take me back to that time, how valuable as a young and up-and-coming coach that time was for you.
Well, it was extremely important, I think, in my development as a coach, to turn around and coach players that I had played with, because I became a position coach. And I jokingly always tell everybody, at the small college, NAIA level, if you're willing to take no pay, they're willing to let you coach. And so I was willing to do that, and that's how I got my start. But enjoyed working for the head coach that I had played for, and then had a great opportunity to be mentored by a guy that was really probably my first coaching mentor ever, Kurt Bennett, who took me under his wing and kind of taught me the ins and outs of coaching. So at that level, I had a great time of relating to the players and being around them and relating to the coaches. It was a huge family atmosphere, and so it was an awesome time and a nice little crucible to grow in. Because I was very familiar not only with the program, but the college, the area, and who we were recruiting, and all those expectations as well.
You've got a bunch of experience, multiple teams, but became a head coach a couple of years out of college. Was that nerve-wracking? Was it an adrenaline rush? I can't imagine being a head coach of a college team at that young of an age.
Well, I always say this, and I really do believe this. I didn't really feel any pressure. I was a Sterling guy, and I loved the college. I loved what they did. I loved what they stood for. We were a Christian school, and a strong Christian school, very similar to Liberty. And I had support from people on the faculty and in the staff, and we had some really good coaches there. So I was really, quite honestly, I was too stupid to know that I was taking over a head coaching job and there were supposed to be any problems with it, because we were able to recruit an excellent crew of young men, and we had some great success right from the start. And so it was a very, very fun experience for a young coach. It really was. I had a great time doing it there.
When did you first meet Coach Gill?
I met Coach Gill really, actually, my first day on campus after I had been the head coach at Sterling a couple of years. I ended up having the opportunity, Coach Osborne gave me the opportunity to be a graduate assistant at the University of Nebraska. It was right after Coach Gill had finished his senior season during that springtime, and he was getting ready to go to the Montreal Alouettes. And I met him in the weight room and had an opportunity to say hello and greet him and wish him well with the Alouettes. And that just, he remembered who I was. I was there for a few years on the freshman staff and as the head freshman coach, and we kept in touch from that point on.
You stayed connected. Job opens here. He reaches out to you. How did that correspondence go to ultimately bring you here to Liberty?
Well, I kind of reached out to him, and again, he responded back. We had an opportunity to talk about the position, what his vision was, and I've been around this game long enough to know that there are people that you'd love to work for, which Turner Gill is one of those guys, and the staff that he has here is a a phenomenal staff. I've had, you know, in the world of coaching, your paths intertwine a bunch with coaches. You either coached with them or know of them, but you also know that there has to be a fit. And while you may have a great deal of respect for him and he has respect for you, it may not be a fit for you at this time. So I said, Coach, I'd be interested in visiting with you if you feel like it. And we talked about it and came on an interview and got a chance to interact with the staff and visit with Coach Gill in a little bit more intense situation. And he offered the job, and here I am today.
I think a lot of people, Scott, when we talk to them who maybe not have been to the campus, have their ideas of what it's like. When you stepped foot on this campus, how impressed were you with the facilities and the mission and what we're doing here at Liberty?
One word, it was wow. Wow, the whole time. Came around the corner, I just remember Brett Thiessen picked me up at the airport in Roanoke, and I drove down, and he said, Coach, I'm going to take you up to the stadium first. And we drove around the corner, and I went, whoa.
Yeah. And
then from that point on, just the entire interview process and getting a chance to look around campus and meet people from everybody I met. Jeff Barber, our athletic director, meeting him, impressive people. I was really shocked because I had no idea in my mind what Liberty University was all about.
Scott, you've been a coordinator, you've been a head coach, you've coached multiple positions. How valuable is that experience when building a resume for a coach?
I think it's important that you get an idea of what everybody on the team is doing. You know, you get a chance to work with different groups. So you certainly have to get a chance to look from the defensive side at the offensive side at the defense. It helps. It also helps to be a special teams coordinator because you actually reach out to all the groups on your team. So you're looking into every position group and you get a chance to interact with them, which, you know, if you're only a position coach, if you're just coaching one position, you kind of get really close with them, but you may know the other guys, but not as well as you do if you're the special teams coach. So I think, you know, for a young guy, if he's starting out in the coaching world, I think you have to be open to any position. If you can coach football, if you can coach a person, you can coach any position. You may have to study a little bit more. You may have to go visit with someone that really knows the techniques of your position and everything. But it comes down to being able to relate to the players and teach them what you want them to know and teach them how to do it, and then giving them the freedom to go out and produce.
We've talked about, Scott, you've been here about a month. What's it been like building the relationships with the current players that we have now? You know,
I think they're a great group of guys. They really are. You know, I don't know their names, all of them. I know my running back guys, sure, and I'm meeting the other guys as we go along. And, you know, I have this way of associating their names with their numbers. So when they're in jerseys, I'm a little bit better than I am when they're just walking down the hallway. But these young men here have been very accepting, been warmly greeted. You know, of course, they don't have to know your name. They can just call you coach and you're fine. But everywhere I've been, they've been very helpful. Some of them have given me rides around campus because I had to do a bunch of HR stuff first couple of days. So they've seen me walking and picked me up in a car. So I think they're an outstanding group of young men, and I'm looking forward to being a part of what they've started here.
How do you think people would describe your coaching style?
I think if they came out and watched me, they'd be surprised, you know, that a guy with this kind of experience, pretty energetic, loud, but never a guy that's demeaning. I want our guys to do it right, and I'm their biggest fan. I want to watch them do the things that they can do. I know they can do on a field. I'm disappointed when it doesn't go right sometimes, and you'll hear me groan on the sideline or whatever, but it's always about going out and being positive. I want the players to leave at the end of the day, regardless of what happened, knowing that we care about them, we love them as people, and we'll correct, you know, the things that went wrong, but we're not attacking them as a person. And I think that's very important.
Well, Scott, let me be one of many to welcome you to Liberty. Look forward to catching up with you soon. Scott Downing, brand new running backs coach and special teams coordinator here with Liberty Football.